I'll be recapping UFC 313. You know, this was a good card. This was a pretty good card. Definitely spoiled by the main event because you didn't have a lot of big names on this card, obviously. And, you know, pretty much all the fights were good up until the main event. But I think the main event was so anticlimactic. You know, whether you got Alex winning that one or, you know, you're dumb. It was a boring fight. That's undeniable. It was very boring. It had one little moment, and then the rest was just nothing. Nothing happened in that fight. So that really spoiled the event to me. But first off, we got the early prelims. The only early prelims fight in this card because 2 fights got canceled at like an hour before. So you got Jorge Santos versus Ozzy Diaz. You know, people were saying this is a robbery. I didn't think it was. I thought it was scored just right. I don't know. It was really close. I'll give him that. But I'm not really upset with the decision here. I don't really care either. Anyways, Santos apparently lived in a dog kennel. The commentary said that he lived in a pit bull kennel in the favelas. Like, what? Interesting lore. Anyways, Santos showed great heart in his fight. At the end of the fight, when they were both tired, he kept swinging, and that was great to see. Despite not landing any takedowns, I think Santos should have went for more. I think he should have tried more. I think that would have benefited him in this fight. But, you know, it took a while for Santos to find the range in this fight. In the first round and maybe the beginning of the second round, he just couldn't find the jab on Ozzy. So that was really a problem for him in the beginning. Then Santos just emoted at the end of round 2 when it was close. It was obviously close. You know, they kept just trading jabs and 1-2s the whole time until round 3. And, you know, it was close. I don't know what the emo was for. Santos had a coach saying he should jab more. What? That was already all he was doing, dude. What do you mean he should jab more? You can't jab more. What does that just makes no sense. That guy should be fired. But yeah, in this fight, neither of the fighters were really committed to their shots until like the 3rd round. And Ozzy was primarily doing good when he was going forward, opposed to on the back foot, which he was primarily in this fight. Then late in round 3, when Ozzy was really gassed, Ozzy was landing knees and then hurt Santos bad to the head. I don't remember what it was exactly, but he hurt him bad, and Ozzy tried following up, but Santos recovered despite being completely gassed. That was pretty impressive. And, you know, he kept going forward. The gray heart, you know, we love to see that. So Ozzy Diaz took it by decision. I think that's fair. Next fight, Marion Santos versus Francis Marshall. This fight was a clear-cut robbery. There's no debate about that one. I would argue this was Marshall 3-0. I would argue Francis 3-0. You know, in the first round, Santos looked really, really comfortable. Maybe even a bit too comfortable, which got proven when he got knocked down bad for counter left hook going forward by Marshall. And yeah, Marshall was just controlling Santos the rest of the round after he knocked him down. He couldn't follow up on the knockdown, couldn't get him out. So they coasted into round 2. Then Santos immediately looked more cautious. He looked more careful. He stayed more at range. He landed a bit. He started landing a bit in round 2. Not really anything of huge substance though. But Francis did allow him to do that because he wasn't keeping on the pressure. He was just letting Santos get more comfortable again, which was not a good decision. But, you know, he still won in my opinion. Marshall landed a takedown, takes the back immediately. You know, he landed a couple takedowns in his fight. He didn't really do a lot with them, but Santos really, you could see that he really struggled with them. When he was taken down, when it was on the ground, he really struggled getting back up again. And at round 3, Santos was fighting like he was winning. He was just very calm. He was coasting, in my opinion. And I don't know, Marshall won the exchanges. They had some little exchanges on the end of round 3. And Marshall took those. Then controlled Santos on the ground a bit before the end of the fight. And this was obvious to me. This was obviously 3-0 Marshall. Now, I don't really care, but, you know, it's just these decisions, man. It was, the judges today were absolutely insane. I'll get to that later. We got the next fight being Alex Morono versus Carlos Leal. Now, this was a good performance by Leal. Very good performance. Now, you're fighting against Alex Morono, which isn't really impressive when you win that. But, he did still win it in impressive fashion. Morono was very active right away, round one. Leal, in the beginning, he tried, like, big haymakers. I was surprised by that because I know him as more technical. So, I was like, what the fuck? Anyways, he did get more comfortable later on, and he did start working on Morono a lot. He started pressuring him heavy. He was landing comfortably. He was just constantly working Morono. And then really at the end, they both just start throwing. That was nice to see. That was cool. Morono fought back. Got hurt bad. He got hurt bad a couple times in this fight. And he tried a desperation takedown. That didn't land. Then Leal just kept laying it on him, having the obvious upper hand in every exchange. And, eventually, Carlos Leal just kept laying it on him. Morono was obviously very badly wobbled until the ref stopped it. Good stoppage in my opinion. It was standing, but I think it was very obvious Morono was out. He was getting worked on. He was getting landed on maybe a minute or 2 minutes. And everything, he threw back and he landed, but it just didn't do any damage. So I think it was a fair stoppage. Then we got Bruno Ferreira versus Armen Petrosyan. In the beginning of this fight, Petrosyan was biting on all the feints, by the way. That wasn't good to see. But Bruno, nothing really happened. Then Bruno landed one left hook, and Petrosyan immediately responded by throwing 2 groin strikes. I don't know what that was about, but, it was fire. Then finally, a good call by ref. Mark Smith took a point after the second groin strike, and that was good to see. Because they never do this, and they should be doing this more often. It discourages fighters from committing fouls. I was happy to see that. Then at the end of round 1, both fighters let loose more. Both land good. And I think Armen took round 1 by being more active and just throwing more in general. Then into round 2, Petrosyan looked really comfortable. He stopped biting on all the feints, and he kept managing the range, which was really good, even though Bruno was pressuring the whole fight. So that was good. But then Bruno kept finding success by blitzing in. He just, blitzes in, and then he lands small things, and that really got him more points in this fight. But ultimately, it didn't matter because Bruno, after a lot of attempts, actually, 7, he got a takedown in finally. And what he did was he controlled Petrosyan's back. And despite Armen grabbing the fence blatantly, he got the armbar and finished the fight. So, Bruno Ferreira by round 2 submission. Then we have Joshua Van versus Ray Tsura. Flyweight, you have Merab. I don't know what the fuck this fight was. I was so fucking hyped for this fight. I don't know what Ray was doing, honestly. What was that? This was so disappointing. This was extremely disappointing. I was looking for Ray to be striking way more. I thought he could get the upper hand in striking if he committed to it. And the whole fight, all 3 rounds, Ray kept attempting the same fucking double leg, which obviously doesn't work. You need to set them up. You need to switch up the takedowns. You need to switch up what you're doing. He just didn't do that. He just kept trying double legs, and obviously that isn't going to work. So yeah, this was really disappointing from Ray. Ray's chin was way too high in this fight. That's one thing. Then Ray was Mario Batista maxing almost all of round 1 by just cage holding. And then during short periods, because this fucking guy attempted 21 takedowns. 21. So he was attempting takedowns the whole fight. You had like 20 seconds. You had like a takedown. Then, they struggled against the cage. They broke up. Then you had maybe 2 seconds of striking. And then Ray attempted again. And so in really short periods of no takedowns, Van was getting the upper hand. He was landing pretty good, but nothing really of substance. Then Ray finally landed a takedown later in round 1, but Van just got up. He just got up right away. So this is pathetic, dude. And then later he got another takedown. He got a throw, but again he doesn't do anything with it. Kind of depressing, to be honest. Kind of depressing. But, Ray did have good striking defense in this fight. He was swaying. He was, managing the distance. He was defending well. But, yeah, he just didn't throw anything. Then, end of round 2, both fighters started, they started landing good. They started committing a bit to it, and they started landing good, both of them. Then round 3 followed the script of the rest of the fight by starting with 2 bad takedowns from Ray. But Van started sprawling more because first he was just stuffing them. This time he started sprawling more. So every time Ray attempted a takedown, Van was landing good strikes on the ground on Ray. And eventually even landed some nasty body shots on Ray. Then Van kicked Ray right in the nuts. And then the crowd booed Ray. Like, okay, I get that the performance is bad, but why are you booing him for fucking getting a groin strike? Why? That's just absurd. Anyways, a bit later, another groin strike from Van during a time of surprisingly no takedown attempts. So that really spoiled that moment. You know, Van could have taken that to work. It was like 40 seconds of no takedowns. Van should have used that to work, but he just didn't because he just groin nut kicked him. Then Van hurt Ray bad at the end of round 3, and you know, he just took all rounds. Just, you know, it was a decision. He won this, but you know, it wasn't really anything. You know, there wasn't really anything to see in this fight apart from Joshua Van's great defensive wrestling. Then, opening the main card. This was absurd. Bobby Green, versus Mauricio Rufy. This was just insane. He had a spinning heel kick knockout. They were still feeling each other out because this was really short-lived, this fight. They were still feeling each other out. Rufy hurt Bobby just slightly with a right hand early in the fight. And then they went back to feeling each other out. And Rufy spins through from a left hook feint and flatlines, slumped forward. He fell forward. Spinning heel kick KO'd Bobby Green. I was worried for Bobby there for a moment. I'm glad Rufy didn't follow up. That was a sick KO. You know, this is really going to get his name out there. Because I saw the UFC, ESPN posting clips of this. And you know, when they do that, they don't care about, they don't care anymore. They just want to push the fighter. They want to make this fighter big. They want to get a viral clip. And, you know, that's good to see for Rufy's career. And this was just in the moment. It was insane. Next fight. I didn't watch this one. Then we have Jalen Turner for... I just don't care about that woman's fight, dude. Sometimes I care about the woman's fight. That one, I really wasn't going to watch that. And I'm glad I didn't because I saw everyone commenting that it was ass. Now, Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. This was also a short fight. Both fighters immediately start getting active right away. You know, they start engaging in exchanges. Then fight got to the ground. I didn't see how, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure how. But, you know, Turner gets some control in. But Bahamondes kept landing good elbows from the bottom. Then during a little scrap on the ground, Bahamondes got a triangle in. And Jalen tapped. That's it. You know, I didn't know Ignacio had this level of grappling. But, you know, I'm not... This isn't really a test because it's Jalen Turner you're fighting. So, next fight. But I am... You know, we got some killers now in lightweight. You know, you got Bahamondes in now too. Getting more and more stacked. Anyways, next fight, the co-main event. Now, this was an awesome fight, but the first fight should have taken fight of the night. You know, Dana just loves robbing people that are fighting for 10 in 10 and giving the bonus to Justin fucking Gaethje when he could have just given it to someone that barely earns anything. Come on, Dana. Come on. This is just absurd. Anyways, I called it, dude. I called it. Fiziev landed 2 takedowns right away in round 1. I called it. He was trying to be different. He was trying to show that he's like evolved. But he used it to land good strikes. And even attempted a rear triangle. I was scared a little bit for Gaethje. I thought maybe Fiziev was going to get that one. But he didn't. And the fight continued. So exchanges in round 1 were really close. You know, Fiziev did a lot of work in the clinch in round 1. So with the exchanges being really close, I thought that round was for Fiziev. But Fiziev, I think, injured his foot with a high kick late in round 1. That was pretty disappointing. Fiziev still had good cardio. You know, he still looked good cardio-wise going into round 2, which is a huge step up from his last fight. And Fiziev was hitting nice body shots throughout the whole fight with a big emphasis on them in round 2. Big emphasis. And, you know, Fiziev landed a pretty big head kick in round 2, wobbling Justin Gaethje. Before... I think that would have got him the round if Justin Gaethje didn't just knock him down hard with a ducking right uppercut and you know, Fiziev almost got finished. I thought they were going to stop this fight, but Fiziev recovered on the ground. He recovered well with the grappling. Then in round 3, they coasted to round 3, and Justin just starts dominating all the exchanges in round 3. So, you know, at this point, Justin is up, and he's still throwing, which is, you know, good to see. I didn't expect Justin to be violent in this fight, but he was, which was nice. Then somehow, some way, Gaethje landed like a head kick from clinch distance. I don't know how they did that. It didn't really damage or anything, but it it was just impressive. I just had to say that. And then Justin fell to takedown and clinches for the rest of the round. They did unload at the end, though. They did break up and unload at the end. But yeah, that's basically it. Then for the main event, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. First of all, I want to say that was not Alex Pereira. What the fuck were you doing, Alex? What the fuck were you doing? That was not Alex in there. That's not the Alex any of us know, all right? But he did win rounds 1, 3, and 5, with round 4 being a tie, in my opinion. If you clinch the whole round and the person you're clinching lands more up against the cage, just hugging the cage, I think the person, you know, I think at least should be a draw, because you're not doing anything, right? You're not doing anything. You're not getting anywhere. So I don't know. That just shouldn't be winning a round. But, you know, I accept this is the way that fights are scored. And then it was 3-2, right? You know, in my opinion, it should be 3-1, but it was 3-2. You know, Bruce Buffer gave Alex the one, the only. That was good. That was cool. It was just really on a disappointing night. It was really disappointing. Pereira looked like he was going to kill Ankalaev before the fight started. But it was just a depressing performance. Both of them were fucking boring it up. I don't know what Pereira was doing. This is not the Pereira we know. Like, we know Ankalaev is boring, but we don't know this of Pereira. He just looked like he wasn't there. It just, I don't know, man. This just didn't look like Pereira. Anyways, in round 1, Ankalaev couldn't find Alex. He kept trying to throw big strikes. He just couldn't find Alex. He couldn't manage the distance in the beginning. Then both of them landed low kicks. Alex landing more, obviously. Then Alex didn't throw any punches. He just didn't throw any punches in general in this fight. But in round 1, I think he threw like 0 punches. It's just absurd. This fight was absurd. Then, you know, Ankalaev couldn't really find anything apart from the low kicks in the ending of round 1. And it looked to me like Alex was trapping Ankalaev to getting into boxing range. But apparently he wasn't. Like, in the moment, I thought like, oh, he's trapping into boxing range. You know, he wants Ankalaev to engage at close distance and then catch him. Apparently not. Apparently he was just fucking... Apparently he just wanted to stand there the whole fight. Then what was really good to see, it's tainted by the performance of, obviously, but Alex Pereira had crazy good takedown defense in this fight. Every takedown he stuffed. 12 takedowns he stuffed. You know, Ankalaev couldn't keep his word for one fucking round, the bitch ass. He tried to takedown in round 1, like 4 minutes into round 1. The fuck are you doing? He said, I will not take Alex down. I will strike with him. Dude. Can't keep your fucking word for one round. One fucking round, dude. Insane. Anyways, Alex took round 1, obviously, because he was landing all the low kicks and there weren't any punches. You know, he defended the takedown. So Alex obviously took round 1. Then round 2, Ankalaev started pressuring more immediately in round 2. And it looked like he was limping a bit. Apparently he wasn't, but... It just looked like that. Then, I don't know, man. I think I was biased because these notes... I'm plugging in these notes. Now, in hindsight, I know how the round went, so I'm like, I don't think so. I wrote down, Ankalaev looks scared of boxing range. But I know Ankalaev wasn't really engaging in the boxing range. He was staying at the distance and just trying, you know, 1-2s the whole time, which didn't really work. So it did look like he was a bit scared of the boxing range. Anyways... Alex slightly hurt Ankalaev. He kept slightly hurting Ankalaev with the high kicks, despite Ank blocking them. But you know, in the last half of round 2, it looked like Alex was gonna pressure forward more. But at the end of round 2, Ankalaev, you know, turned it around again and pressured Alex more. And then he got the upper hand in some exchanges, and he wobbled Alex bad. He wobbled Alex really bad. Last 10 seconds of round 2. With a straight left. Come on, Alex. What are you doing? No. Oh, my goodness. Come on, Alex. What are you doing, man? He almost got knocked down. If the cage wasn't there, it would have been a knockdown. But he fell against the cage and the round ended. So 1-1 going into round 3. Round 3 was a close one, but I don't think it was a close one, actually. I just don't think that. Because, look, round 3, Ankalaev was more confident. Obviously, he pressured more. Alex looked really cautious in round 3, but, you know, serves him well because he got knocked down almost. Then Pereira kept landing the low kicks. He kept landing the calf kicks, the low kicks. And that was basically the whole round, apart from a failed takedown by Ankalaev. And then, you know, Alex landed a good right hand in the end of round 3. Ankalaev didn't do anything in round 3. He genuinely didn't do anything. He landed nothing. The takedown didn't work. He tried cage hugging. That didn't work. Alex took round 3. Okay, so we got that down. He took round 3, obviously. And then they coasted to round 4. So, let me ask you, okay? Let me ask you. If someone in a round, no context, okay? Because we're not in a round, you're not scoring based off the last round, okay? So, round 3, we're going into this round. Neither of them land any strikes apart from Alex landing low kicks. Now, obviously, that isn't a lot of damage, but at least he's landing something. And then Ankalaev fails a takedown. Now, who won that round, do you think? Because I feel like people are judging this round based off the ending of round 2. But it doesn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way, and it doesn't work that way. So, you know, Alex obviously took round 3, in my opinion. Obviously. Then, right into round 4, Ankalaev fails a takedown straight away, and they just clinch this whole round. They Mario Batista'd up in there. Even Goddard had to break them up after 3 minutes of doing nothing in the clinching against the cage. Then Ankalaev tried a couple takedowns. But in round 4, Ankalaev landed nothing. He just kept Alex against the cage. And while Alex was, of course, against the cage and was getting controlled on the cage, which I don't think should win you a round anyways, but Alex was landing good on Ankalaev on the clinch. So, you know, that was the whole round. The whole round was just clinch work. It was nothing. And, you know, so I genuinely think that should be a tie round. But, you know, that is not how fights are scored. So Ankalaev takes round 4. Then, round 5, Alex seems tired. He seems tired into round 5. You know, all the grappling against the cage, it got him tired. And Ankalaev seemed very motivated. Alex did start eating. He ate a big right hand easily. So, you know, it was just one flash moment in round 2. Then a nice head kick by Pereira hurt Ankalaev just slightly. Ankalaev started pressuring again. He didn't really land anything. He got stunned by a jab from Pereira before failing takedown again. Then Ankalaev again clinched against the cage and just cage hug against until the end of the fight. And Ankalaev in round 5, he didn't land anything of damage. He landed the right hand, which didn't do anything on Alex. And Alex kept landing low kicks. He landed a jab, which stunned Ankalaev slightly. He landed a head kick, which hurt him slightly. So now we're looking at round 1, Alex. Round 2, Ankalaev. Round 3, Alex. Round 4, Ankalaev. And round 5, Alex. Obviously, in my opinion. Obviously. And then, again, I want to reiterate, round 4 should be a tie. So, in my opinion, it's 3-1. But, man, you know, man, the moment I saw Dana White's sad ass when Bruce Buffer was calling it out, the moment I saw Dana White's face, I knew Ankalaev got it. And I just want to talk about these fucking judges. Sal D'Amato scored this 4-1 for Ankalaev. How? How can you? How is that possible? Okay, he scored all 4 last rounds. 5 was obviously Alex. Okay. Obviously, I think 3 was too, but you know that's contested. It's you know, sometimes I really wish this sport was just corrupt and Dana was just telling me, you know, give it to Alex, because he did win this fight. It just really sucked, man. It just really sucks. It's so disappointing. And Alex is now in a point of his career. He's 37. I know he's gonna bounce back, but if he wins the rematch against Ankalaev, I don't really want to see the rematch. Even not excited for that. If he wins the rematch, you know, it really is a stain on his legacy, you know. But this was a boring ass fight. Almost nothing Nothing was landed. Nothing was thrown. Nothing. Both of them just didn't try anything hard. And I don't know what the fuck Alex was. This was not Alex in this fight. This was like a body double. He's backstage with Nina or something while his body double just does nothing the whole fight. I don't know what was up with this fight. But, you know, Ankalaev is the champion. We're gonna get that immediate rematch in 2 years when Ankalaev finally returns. Yeah. Goodbye and subscribe, like and subscribe. Goodbye.